Welcome back to the Power Max Mini Challenge, where we've been having loads of fun on the GP circuit at Brands Hatch with the JCWs and F56s. But now it's time to go back over to Rockingham for the final Cooper class race. Here's Ben with the grid.
Thanks, Michelle. This then is how they line up for the third and final race of the Rockingham race weekend, with Ricky Page in pole position alongside him, Mark Wakefield. Then it's Nathan Harrison and Max Bladen, Darren Chatt and Grace Williams, and Matt Hammond and Joe Polly, as the 5-second board about to be shown to the drivers. It is now, so they look to the gantry in car with Mark Wakefield waiting for the release, which he gets as he just eases away from the line. It's a good start though from Ricky Page, and Page will just have the advantage as they turn through the first corner and then have that long sprint onward towards the Dean hairpin behind. It's very cramped as Joe Polly looks to go around the outside of Grace Williams. Matt Hammond also part of that group as they fan out into the Dean hairpin. It's Hammond who has the advantage from Wakefield. Then it's Darren Chatt turning through next along. Nathan Harrison looking to try and make progress as they safely negotiate the first couple of turns. Head downhill into Yentwood. Very, very tight right-hander for climbing on towards Chapman Curve. So this train of cars at the front of the field. There is Nathan Harrison. He's just ahead of Max Bladen. Then a slight gap back to Matt Hammond as they exit Chapman Curve, head into Piff Paff. As we go in car with Matt Hammond, he takes a big bite of curb for the first section of Piff Paff. Not quite as much at the second, as he then accelerates on to the left-hander at Gracelands. Just downshifts, long left-hander that then feeds them on towards the Tarzan hairpin. So here is Ricky Page, the race leader, trying to break away, but we have seen time and time again in Cooper class racing in the Power Max Mini Challenge that the gaps can disappear in the blink of an eye. Good battle though for third place coming together as Darren Chatt defending rigorously from Nathan Harrison. He's got Max Bladen and Matt Hammond going well in these early stages. Then a slight gap in the traffic to Joe Polly, who heads the next group of cars. Martin Poole trying to make a little bit of progress through the Brook chicane as the field all string out and accelerate through. Let's go in car with Nathan Harrison for a look at how the start went from his perspective. Just eases off the line and then starts to move up through the gears, just slightly fluffing that gear change, and therefore gets passed by one or two cars to either side of him. Soon up to speed and well on his way. So at the front of the field, Page and Wakefield breaking away. Then we've got the white car of Darren Chatt. He's got Nathan Harrison looking to challenge him, and Harrison looks to the outside line as they head through Tarzan, but Chatt just sticks to the conventional racing line. He's going to make Nathan Harrison do all the hard work, and that's absolutely key. Once you start driving defensively, that's when you back up the traffic. But I think Harrison has possibly got the better run out of Tarzan. Indeed he has, and Harrison might squeak through here at Brook, and that is exactly what happens with Max Bladen and Matt Hammond in pursuit, and Bladen gets elbow to elbow with Darren Chatt, and that also gives the opportunity to Matt Hammond. There's Hammond in the predominantly blue car looking to draw alongside as they accelerate over the start and finish line into another tour of the Rockingham circuit. Just under 2 miles, the International Super Sports Car Circuit at Rockingham. And a very busy 2 miles it is indeed. Almost the only respite is this section of track now as they head on towards the Dean hairpin. As Bladen looks to the inside of Darren Chatt. Harrison very late on the brakes as well, and Nathan Harrison out brakes himself, runs out very wide. Oh, he clomps into the tyre wall. I hope he's not done too much damage. It's going to cost him a lot of ground in terms of track position though, as it elevates Max Bladen and Matt Hammond into the fight for third position. They're joined by Darren Chatt, and also there's Adrian Norman going well. Great to see Adrian at the front of the field, and so Adrian Norman emphatically in the mix as Darren Chatt bounces on the suspension. Matt Hammond looks to apply the pressure. In car there with Nathan Harrison for the drama at Dean. Downshifts, turns down, understeers, hello tyres, crunch. And let's see, yeah, he should be able to continue. The damage I suspect more cosmetic than anything. But nonetheless, disappointing for Harrison, who's been so good otherwise this weekend. Meanwhile, Ricky Page has now been caught by Mark Wakefield, and Wakefield looks to draw out alongside Ricky Page. The pair of them side by side on the brakes into the Dean hairpin. Page turns down off the oval circuit Mark Wakefield in close pursuit. And Ricky has been very quick over a single lap. His race pace, though, hasn't quite been there with some of his rivals so far. Meanwhile, that's a launch of a move from Adam Davey, and he punches Darren Chatt out wide. That wasn't Darren's fault. And Davey just made contact just at the point at which Darren Chatt wanted to slow down. And for Adrian Norman, he has now found himself at the head of this immense queue and up into a podium position. Here we see how it all unfolded in car with Matt Hammond. There's the contact, and Darren Chatt fully on the brakes and skates out wide. Meanwhile, here is the battle between Max Bladen and Simon Walton. Walton looking to close up onto the tail of Bladen as the pair of them march onward towards the Dean hairpin. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, still Ricky Page and Mark Wakefield having a super scrap between the pair of themselves. And what they've been able to do is build out a buffer over the rest of the pack, as now here come Bladen and Walton in towards Yentwood. Walton jinxed the inside. Max Bladen, not sure he's seen him. Oh, crunch! And around goes Max Bladen. And that was a big hit. I do wonder whether or not Simon Walton has sustained damage as well. It's disappointing for the pair of them, because we are pretty deep into the race, as still Ricky Page continues his redoubtable defence. As we see the stricken car of Max Bladen as the ferocious fight for third place. Well, Adrian Norman has got Henry Neal snapping at his heels, as now Mark Wakefield has got the move on Ricky Page, and will he be able to hold it, because Page has been good on the brakes. They head on towards the Dean hairpin, heading towards the latter stages of the race, as Wakefield turns through Dean, and yes, he manages to maintain the advantage on Ricky Page. Page looks to pounce as the pair of them head side by side towards Yentwood. They've got the stricken car of Max Bladen there to remind them to be cautious. So here's how a look at how it all started. Wakefield that little bit quicker than Ricky Page through Brook, and that's been the story of Ricky Page's weekend. It's just a section of the track he's not quite as fast. Mark Wakefield, as a result, eases past and on his way. And we're very near to the checkered flag now. Mark Wakefield heads through Tarzan for the final time. Ricky Page in very close pursuit, using the slipstream to turn himself up to the tail of Mark Wakefield. Page looks to the outside, Wakefield covering the inside line. The pair of them arriving and nibbling their way through Brook. Page closes up onto the tail of Mark Wakefield, but it's not to be, as Wakefield accelerates out of the final turn. The checker flag is ready and waiting, and victory in the third and final Power Max Mini Challenge race at Rockingham goes the way of Mark Wakefield. Second place to Ricky Page. Have a look then at the final results. So Wakefield wins it from Ricky Page. Adrian Norman an excellent third place. Henry Neal in fourth. Matt Hammond in fifth. John Attard in sixth. And Grace Williams in seventh. So three very delighted drivers taking their place on the Rockingham rostrum.
Again, the best race, I think, of my ever life, that is. It all went down to the second to last lap. It was a brilliant race. Me and Ricky battled all the way through. You know, I was pushing him, making sure we could pull away from the back lads, and which we did. And then I knew the last couple of laps that we could both battle. But it was a brilliant race overall. The race was amazing. I can't take anything away from Mark. It's fantastic. We've been so evenly matched all weekend. I've been struggling a little bit in certain places of the circuit and giving up a lot of time, and then I make it up in other places. But great racing again from the Cooper class.
My fourth year, and I thought it was about time I got myself onto the podium. So I stuck my foot down, kept out of trouble, defended well, and lo and behold, I found myself, much to my surprise as well, in third place.
Let's have a look at the standings then as we leave Rockingham, with Ricky Page just clear, 3 points ahead of Nathan Harrison, with Mark Wakefield still very much in the mix, and Adrian Norman climbing to fourth.
That concludes a jam-packed show from Rockingham and here at Brands Hatch. Our next pit stop will be at Silverstone, but in the meantime, don't forget you can keep up to date with all things Mini Challenge on our website, our Facebook page and on Twitter. See you soon.